Peace was good. Good evening. It's March 9th, 2012. Before I start, I want to say rest in peace to Biggie Smalls. It's been 15 years since you died, that you got killed. You're definitely missed, brother. You're definitely one of the illest lyricists. It's unfortunate that your case is still unsolved, and I think that people have an idea who killed Biggie, but people, and especially people of law enforcement, just want to turn a blind eye, but it's unfortunate. What can you do? But you read the title, you know what I want to talk about. Joseph Kony. I guess you guys already know it was coming, like, especially people that I know on Facebook. Um, before before I started the whole, rant, I should say, um, for those who don't know who Joseph Kony is, he's a guerrilla leader who started a militia group called the LRA, or the Lord's Resistance Army. I think it got started back in the mid to late '80s. I want to say like around 1986 to like 1987, and you know, it was this to me, like the way it was described. It kind of reminded me of a modern day Sparta, and because the reason why I say that is because if you're good with history, if you remember history, Sparta was known like back in the ancient Greece times, like back in those days. Um, Sparta, they would pick up like little kids as young as like I think 6 or 7 or 8 years old, and they would have them in the army for 10 years, and they would fight for the Sparta army. And to me, the LRA is like the modern day Sparta, and that's the thing. And they're known, they're very, they're like a Christian extremist. You know what I mean? It's just like, people want to say Muslims are like terrorists. No, you have extremists in every religion. You have Christian extremists, Muslim extremists, everything. So I don't want to, you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, his whole purpose was to purify his village, the which we would call the Akoli people, like I guess like the tribe that he was in and whatnot, the village that he was in. And he's known for like his army was known to kill, like to commit genocide towards the villages, like rape, murder, mutilations, and even some parts of cannibalism, which is crazy. You know what I mean? And it's all responsible by Joseph Kony. You know what I mean? And I've read some stuff about it, and no, I didn't watch the Invisible Child's documentary. I saw like 2 minutes of it, and I clicked it off. I got bored. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know, for some reason I'm more interested in watching it on TV than on a computer. I can't watch certain things on a computer, but that's just me. But anyways, so the guy's bad news, and people like that needs to go. I have no problem with that. My thing is, for the past 4 days, I've been seeing Kony 2012, Kony 2012. Like it's been advertised like as if it was like a presidential campaign or something. Because that's what it sounds like. Kony 2012. That's what it sounds like, you know. And then like all of a sudden, like people that is not really about, I don't know, I guess like awareness. All of a sudden they become experts about a certain thing. You know what I mean? They just watch one thing, and they automatically just experts and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I understand people's intentions are good, but the thing that bothers me is that people base one thing off one video. You have to do more research, people. Don't just base one thing on one video. It's like you going to the doctor. Don't depend on one doctor to give you the prognosis, like their opinions. That's why you go to other doctors to get other opinions. It's the same thing with cars. You go to the mechanic, you get different estimates. Same concept with the research. That's how I see it, anyways. I don't know how other people see it. Um, yeah, like I said, Joseph Kony needs to be gone. People like that. But I feel like the whole thing is not even about the children, getting kidnapped by Joseph Kony himself. I think it's more deeper than that. It's more bigger than Joseph Kony. And the reason why I say that, I think the whole Joseph Kony 2012 thing is propaganda. The reason being is because you have to understand about Uganda. Uganda is a country that's located in East Africa. It's like right by Tanzania and Kenya, like right over there. And very poor countries, like one of the poorest countries in America and in Africa, excuse me. And one of the natural resources of Uganda is crude oil and natural gas. And you already know that America is very dependent on gas. Because most Americans today drive. They do use some type of transportation, unless you're driving like a bike, like riding a bike or something like that. But most people drive or they use public transportation. So you already know, not just America, but just everywhere else in the world. But I'm just saying America is this is where I live in the United States. Let's just say, and I just feel like and so my thing is, I think the whole thing is about gas. I don't think it's about Joseph Kony, because if that was the case, Joseph Kony would have been gone years ago. And hold on, let me see how much time I got left. Yeah, yeah, Joseph Kony would have been gone years ago. You know what I mean? Because from what I understand, they did a documentary of Joseph Kony back in 2003, but not too many people know about it. You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I think it's just about gas. And I know I'm gonna catch a lot of shit for it, but it has to be said. And by the way, I don't want to say, oh, you're not patriotic enough and stuff like that. I'm American. Love this country, but there's a certain things about this country that pisses me off, and then it's fucked up. And you can't deny that shit. Is the thing is with United States or America? Yeah, the United States, for lack of a better word, I should say. Um, in history and in the past, and how they are, is they'll only help out a country that benefits them. If that country have natural resources that America needs, they'll help them out. But if a country doesn't have natural resources and is not beneficial to the United States, United States won't fuck with that country, so to speak. And that's fact. It's been happened before. You understand? Um, Prime example. Look at Haiti. Haiti has nothing. Haiti is like 98% of deforestation, meaning that there's hardly any trees. You know what I mean? Which is pretty sad. Um, you know what I mean? You already know. Like 2 years ago, Haiti had that devastating earthquake, things like that. You had people like the CNN and stuff like that. You had a couple of celebrities that went to that went to Haiti to help out, but they was just there for the film time, for the 15 minutes of fame, or just lack of a better word. But Sean Penn was one of the celebrities that was there and stuck with it. He stuck with it, and he was there with them for. I don't know if he's still there or he left. I don't know, but he stuck with it. You know what I mean? And much respect to Sean Penn. Much love to you. I love you as an actor, and just by you doing that, I find a new respect for you. You know what I mean? Just based on what you did for Haiti. Um, Things of that nature. And it's just, that's the thing. It's just all about gas. You know what I mean? And it's fucked up, but it's unfortunate. Um, and like I said, it's all about gas. And then now they're saying about how they can't find Joseph Kony, that he hasn't been in Uganda for 6 years, since 2005, 2006, or some shit like that. Which I think that's possible. Anything's possible. But to say that you can't find it, which I think is bullshit. But then yet you could find somebody downloaded the movies, and then you could find them in an IP address, and you could prosecute them. But you can't find Joseph Kony. Come on, really? The same thing with Osama bin Laden. They knew where he was, but it's all politics. You know how that go. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about that. You know what I mean? And what else want to talk about that? Yeah, to me it's all propaganda. The whole Kony 2012 thing is propaganda. Because if that was the case, you know, he would have been gone years ago. Let's just keep it real. Saddam Hussein, yeah, he wasn't really a threat to us. Yeah, he said about he was gonna. I don't know. To me, he wasn't really a threat to America. You know what I mean? but we killed him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he was a bad dude, but he wasn't really a threat to us. You know what I mean? He was more of a threat to like Iran and like Israel, and people, America's relationship with Israel. You know what I mean? And we gotta take care of that. You know how that go. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But my thing is like we have our own problems. Like the thing with Uganda, that's their problem. I hate to sound cynical and cold, but that's their problem. We got our own problems. You know what I mean? Like you got people, like for example, we got our own problems here. Like I said, school system sucks here. Gas prices are high, and which I'll get into that in a minute. Education, like I said, education sucks. Like I said before, the homing system, things like that. Nothing too that's really big, but that people kind of turn a blind eye. Like people know about it, but you don't really hear too much about it in the news, which is sad. Is the whole deal with the Mexican cartel? Like you don't really hear that in American news. You only hear that like in Latin American news, like like Telemundo or Univision, where they would like I read it I think on Yahoo.com or like I forgot where I read it at. But much props to them for pointing that out because I didn't know that until I read it on Yahoo. Um, where they would have people from the cartel would send buses from Mexico or they would have like connections to the United States. Um, Particularly like in the southwestern region, like Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, and those places, where they would send people to the cartel to pick up buses, pick up kids from school to pick them up to go to school, thinking that they're about to go to school, but what they're doing is they're transporting them to Mexico, and what they're doing with those kids is that they're training them to become hitmen, to be enforcers for the cartel. So you have kids young as 12 and 13 being being hitman, and it's scary. It's really scary. I mean, because we see young kids every day. So that young kid that we see every day, he could be a killer, and it could kill us. You know what I mean? That needs to be talked about. That needs to be addressed. But I don't see nobody talking about that. You know what I mean? And that shit is fucked up. And another thing I want to address too is that the whole thing with the gas prices thing, yeah, it's fucked up. And that's why I said, going back to the gas prices thing, the whole reason why I feel like the whole Kony 2012 thing is about gas prices. And it's coincidentally, gas prices is high. They said the gas price is going to go up to like Memorial Weekend, whatever. It's going to like to $5 a gallon by Memorial Weekend. And so I think that's the only reason why we're paying attention to Uganda because of natural gas. But getting back to the gas prices thing, um, that the gas prices thing that's based on the suppliers, the future markets on Wall Street, and the greedy ass Wall Street motherfuckers over there. You already know about Wall Street. The whole Occupy Wall Street. Shout out to that whole movement. I thought it was a positive movement, but y'all did what y'all had to do, and I must respect to you for that. But it's the fault of them. President Obama has nothing to do with that. He what could he do? You know what I mean? He can't do nothing about that. Like I said, this whole supply and demand. You guys already know about supply and demand. The demand is high, the price is gonna go up. Plain and simple. I mean, what's the mystery? You understand? Um, yeah, the president's job. The whole point of having, or you might say, oh, well, what's the whole point of having a president? The whole point of having a president is for foreign policy, like to do like peace treaties or like things of that nature, to smooth things out with other leaders and things of that nature. That's the whole point of having a president. You know what I mean? Well, that's one of the things. That he has so much shit to do. Like he could veto laws and veto bills and things of that nature. And by the way, Congress has a right, the final say so when it comes to like going to war and shit like that. You know what I mean? Although the president could declare war, but it's up to Congress to actually send the soldiers, to go to war and shit like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, and that's it. That's my thoughts about that. You know what I mean? I talked about the Kony 2012 thing, the cartel, the president. And by the way, shout out to Barack Obama. I think you're doing a good job. It's not an easy job what you do. Fuck all the non-believers. Fuck all the haters. You know what I mean? You do what you gotta do. You still got my vote. I voted for you back in 2008. These things take time. I still believe in you. Much respect, and thank you for listening to my rant. For all I gotta say, I got a lot more, but I don't want to keep rambling. Um, if you guys like my rant, comment, like it, share with your friends, but be respectful. If you're gonna dislike it, you could dislike it. You're gonna disagree with me, but keep it respectful. Don't be a dick and be like, "Oh, you motherfucker, you don't know what you're talking about, blah 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 blah. You fucking nigger and blah 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 blah." Kill that noise, because what I'm gonna do if you do that, I'm just gonna spam you, and I'm gonna block you and delete you. You know what I mean? And that's it. You know what I mean? But just keep it respectful, and hope you guys have an enjoyable night, I should say, and stay tuned for more beat videos, more rants, more hip hop album reviews. Stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed my rant. Peace.